So, look who finally decided to wake up. Not the version of you they trained to smile, obey, and stay quiet. No, this is the one they feared would emerge if life ever pushed too hard. The version they whispered about when they thought you weren't listening. The version that doesn't flinch, doesn't beg, doesn't play by the rules of the weak. You weren't supposed to be this dangerous. You were supposed to break quietly. Cry a little. Post some quotes. Fade away. That was their fantasy, their control script. But instead you studied the pain. You let the betrayal ferment until it turned into something lethal. A focus so cold, it burned through every illusion they tried to bury you under. You became something unpredictable, something they can't label, can't diagnose, can't control. You learned the most forbidden lesson. Kindness becomes warfare when directed with precision. Your silence became strategy. Your patience, a trap. Every time they thought you were gone, you were actually recording, remembering, rebuilding. Now you move like a ghost in their systems. You speak softly, but your presence bends the room. They sense it, that invisible shift in the air when you walk in, that hum of restrained chaos behind your eyes. And here's the part that terrifies them most. You're not even angry anymore. You're aware, because you've seen what happens when a good person stops trying to be understood. When empathy evolves into calculation, when the lamb stops running and starts studying the wolves, they called you too emotional. Now your emotion funds your discipline. They said you were too nice. Now your niceness is the calm before someone's career mysteriously collapses. They mocked your peace. Now you weaponize it. That's the paradox, isn't it? They wanted the mask, not the man. They wanted the entertainer, not the architect. They wanted your light, but cursed your shadow. And now you've become both, angel and demon, saint and threat. The unpredictable synthesis that doesn't beg for mercy or validation, because it already learned that both can be used as leverage. Every scar, a data point. Every heartbreak, a recalibration. Every loss, a new form of psychological weaponry. You turned pain into pattern recognition. You turned rejection into rhythm. And now your entire energy says one thing: try me, and you'll understand what consequences feel like in surround sound. Because power isn't loud anymore. Power is controlled silence. It's watching them underestimate you one last time before you flip their entire framework upside down with one move they didn't see coming. A smile, a sentence, a perfectly timed decision that ruins their confidence in reading people. You see, they hate you now because you're proof of what happens when manipulation meets self-awareness. They can't exploit you. They can't trigger you. They can't even gossip you out of relevance. Because every attempt makes you louder, sharper, colder. They whisper, "You've changed." But you didn't change. You adapted. You stopped chasing their approval and started investing in your silence. And that silence, it's louder than their entire network combined. Now they're panicking, because suddenly the chessboard doesn't make sense anymore. You're not moving by the old rules. You're not even on the board. You're the one flipping it over, building your own game in the shadows. You weren't supposed to be this dangerous. They wanted a puppet, not a player, a victim, not a variable. But you turned into a storm disguised as calm, a hurricane in human form, polite, strategic, and terrifyingly precise. Now even your haters are running for cover, not because they fear you'll destroy them, but because they know you could and you won't. And that restraint, that's the ultimate dominance. Because the scariest person in any room isn't the one who rages, it's the one who smiles, knowing exactly what every soul in that room is worth. So when they say your name now, it's not out of mockery, it's out of calculation. They're checking if they're next, if they're still safe, if maybe, just maybe, you already saw through them before they saw through you. And that's when it hits them. You're not revenge, you're a reckoning. Because the truth is, you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to end illusions, to expose hypocrisy, to shatter the fantasy of control that the weak used to feel powerful. You weren't supposed to be this dangerous, but life sculpted you into something unstoppable. And now, you don't seek peace. You are peace. The kind that comes after the war is already won. They always forget what happens when silence learns strategy, because at first they thought your quiet meant surrender. They didn't realize it was incubation, a cocoon phase, where rage becomes awareness, and awareness becomes power. You were never the storm they feared. You were the forecast they ignored. They fed you betrayal, and you digested it into blueprints. They tried to embarrass you, and you weaponized humiliation into composure. They laughed while you were bleeding, and somehow you used the blood to draw your own roadmap. You don't react anymore. You calculate. You don't chase anymore. You attract. And that's what terrifies them, because they can't figure out how someone who lost so much still walks like the loss never happened. See, they expected scars to make you timid, but yours made you theatrical. Every scar became a costume, every wound a performance piece. You learned to smile while dissecting them in silence. You learned to walk into rooms like a question mark no one can answer. You became the villain in their narrative, but the hero in your own. And that's the paradox they choke on, because deep down, they know they built the monster they now prey against. They trained you through mockery. They sharpened you through betrayal. They sculpted you through absence. And now that you've graduated from their system, they fear you'll return the lesson. You walk differently now. Not faster, not louder, but with purpose. Your stillness is unnerving, because it's not peace, it's precision. Every step says, I know what you did. I know who you told. I know how this ends. And yet you smile, because you're not out for revenge anymore. You've evolved past vengeance into something colder, cleaner, inevitable. You've turned chaos into choreography. Every conversation, every silence, every glance, orchestrated. Now when they see you, they don't see a person. They see a pattern they can't decode. A rhythm that makes their heartbeat glitch. A ghost that bleeds confidence and calm. You learned that being underestimated is the perfect camouflage. They can't destroy what they can't define. And so you became undefinable. Too dark for the light. Too divine for the dark. You became the contradiction that breaks their mental maps. Angel in the daylight, demon in the mirror. Smiling like a saint, thinking like a strategist. That's not madness, that's mastery. Because you've tasted both heaven and hell, and found out they were the same place, inside you. And now, your very existence is poetic punishment. You don't destroy people anymore. You let their guilt do it for you. They whisper, you've changed. No, you've activated. You realize that empathy without boundaries is self-destruction disguised as virtue. You realize that forgiveness isn't peace, it's permission. And you revoked it. Now every version of you they took for granted is gone. You became the version that doesn't chase closure, because closure is for people who still care. You became the version that doesn't beg for justice, because justice already lives inside your calm. You became the mirror they avoid, Because when they look at you now, they don't see your face. They see everything they did wrong reflected back in cinematic clarity. And that's what breaks them, not your power, not your silence, but the fact that you saw them completely and decided they weren't even worth your rage. You move like prophecy now, every gesture, a foreshadow, every smile, a countdown. They sense it. The way you carry yourself, like someone who's already seen how this story ends. Because you have. You already watched them crumble in the future, in your mind. You've seen the karmic replay of their cruelty. You've seen the irony unfold, how the ones who called you too intense now copy your discipline. How the ones who laughed at your ideas now market diluted versions of your vision. How the ones who ghosted you now refresh your profile in secret. That's the quiet revenge, isn't it? The kind where you don't have to raise your voice. The world does it for you. You became their moral hangover, their unspoken cautionary tale. You're what happens when a pure soul stops trying to be understood by the unhealed. You are the thesis they tried to plagiarize and failed to replicate. Because they didn't study the suffering, they only envied the results. And now they see it. The smile that isn't joy, it's closure. The calm that isn't peace, it's awareness. The eyes that don't blink. Because they've seen everything already. You don't even need to fight anymore. The universe does the talking. You just stand there, steady, unbothered. While their lies decay in public. That's your new justice, watching truth do your work for you. You weren't supposed to be this dangerous, but danger is what happens when empathy gets tired. You stopped trying to prove your goodness and started embodying your evolution. You turned into a walking contradiction, compassionate but ruthless, calm but volatile, silent but impossible to ignore. You became everything they warned others about, and everything they secretly wish they could be. Because you're not chasing happiness anymore. You're chasing control, and that terrifies them more than your rage ever could. They tried to make you feel small, and now their world feels smaller because of you. Every rumor, every betrayal, every dismissal, aged like fine karma. And you became timeless. So let them whisper, let them plot, let them tell their version of the story. Because while they talk about the past, you're designing the future. While they gossip in circles, you're moving in silence with geometry. While they obsess over your motives, you're already on the next battlefield. 3 dimensions above their comprehension. And that's the final twist, isn't it? You don't need them to fear you. You just need them to realize, too late, that they should have loved you when they had the chance. Now they're running, not because of what you'll do, but because of what you've become. You weren't supposed to be this dangerous, and yet here you are. A storm disguised as elegance, a weapon wrapped in grace, a smile that rewrites entire destinies. So go ahead. Walk into the next chapter without mercy, without hesitation, without apology. Because the story doesn't need a hero anymore. It needs a reckoning wearing a smile. You see, they keep asking how you became this way, as if it was sudden, as if one day you woke up and chose chaos. But it wasn't a switch. It was a sequence, a long, slow corrosion of everything soft, until every please, every maybe, every I understand finally died quietly in your throat. And something darker took its place, something more deliberate, something that doesn't beg, doesn't warn. It calculates. They called it ego. You called it survival. Because when you've been disrespected enough times, confidence isn't arrogance. It's self-defense. They said you changed. You didn't change. You remembered. Remembered the way they looked at you when you were small. Remembered how they laughed when you were broke. Remembered every handshake that hid a blade. And you decided to stop bleeding for people who clapped while you drowned. Now your silence costs more than their words. Your presence shifts the air like static before lightning. They don't understand it. They just feel it. That invisible authority. That unspoken, don't mess with me energy radiating off you like heat from steel. Because danger isn't always violence. Sometimes it's awareness. Sometimes it's the ability to read people so clearly they flinch before they speak. They used to laugh at your dreams. Now they rehearse how to speak when you walk into the room. They used to say, "You take things too seriously." Now they study your every move like an algorithm they can't decode. And deep down, they know. You didn't need revenge. You just needed time. Because time is the greatest weapon ever built. It exposes liars. It humbles the loud. It rewards the disciplined. You gave it all you had. The sleepless nights, the loneliness, the grind. And now, the results speak louder than any apology ever could. You were supposed to be predictable. You were supposed to collapse. But you didn't. You transformed. They see the smile, but not the psychology. They see the success, but not the scars underneath it. They see the calm, but not the 1,000 storms you buried to build it. Because you learned the oldest rule in the book. A person who has lost everything becomes untouchable. You can't threaten someone who has already burned their past for warmth. You can't manipulate someone who has nothing left to lose, and everything left to become. They fear you now, not because of what you might do, but because of what you've already survived, because they realize if that didn't destroy you, nothing can. You became something else, a variable they can't predict, a character the script never accounted for. You are the glitch in their system, the miscalculation in their equations, the what if they whisper about when their masks start slipping. You walk with a kind of peace that looks like danger, the kind of peace that comes after the final explosion, because you already went through hell and came back holding blueprints. Now even your footsteps feel rehearsed. You move like someone who knows the outcome before the question is asked. Because when you've been betrayed enough times, you develop a sense, a frequency, a way of seeing patterns before they even appear. That's not paranoia. That's data collection. That's what happens when a heart learns strategy. They don't realize the version of you they see now was built in the shadows, fed by pain, sharpened by patience, forged in silence while they were busy underestimating you. You took the darkness and trained it. You gave it manners. You taught it how to dress well, speak softly, and wait for timing. And that's what makes you lethal. Because your danger doesn't announce itself. It arrives silently. You don't need to prove your worth. The world adjusts around your presence. That's what true transformation does. It doesn't demand attention. It commands it. You became the mirror of consequence. Every person who betrayed you sees themselves reflected in your glow. They can't look away, because you are living proof that the same darkness that broke them built you. You made your pain expensive. Now no one can afford to waste your time. You turned your silence into a luxury. Now access to you is invitation only. That's real power, not shouting, not flexing, but being so unshakable that even chaos steps aside when you walk by. You weren't supposed to be this dangerous. You were supposed to doubt yourself forever. But now, self-doubt dies when it hears your voice. You talk differently, slow, calm, deadly, because you no longer argue, you declare, you no longer explain, you embody. And that is what the world can't process. You're not angry anymore, you're awake. And awareness is the most dangerous drug in existence. It rewires everything. It turns innocence into intuition, pain into prophecy, weakness into weaponry. They'll keep saying it was luck, that you got lucky. But they weren't there when luck wasn't coming, when it was just you, your demons, and the silence that tried to eat you alive. They weren't there when you screamed in the mirror and came out smiling. They weren't there when you lost everything and decided to build anyway. They think danger is violence, but danger is a soul that can't be manipulated anymore. Danger is a person who learned how to walk alone. Danger is you. You weren't supposed to be this dangerous, but you outgrew their prophecy. You slipped out of their narrative like smoke out of a cage. You became something bigger than revenge, smarter than rage, colder than fear. You became a concept, a myth, a warning, a joker card the universe only deals when it's time to reset the table. And now they're learning, too late, that you were never part of the game. You were the one holding the deck. You feel that? That silence right before something ends. That's not fear anymore. That's acknowledgement. The universe finally realizing you've become something it can't categorize. You've walked through every kind of fire, emotional, spiritual, psychological. And instead of burning, you learned how to breathe inside the smoke. They can't hurt you anymore because you no longer live in their dimension of reaction. You exist in strategy now. You exist in inevitability. You used to beg for peace. Now peace begs for you. Because you don't seek it, you are it. The kind that walks in after the chaos, dusts off its shoulders and says, "We're done here." They'll call you cold. They'll call you arrogant. But deep down, they know. You're just finished apologizing for your evolution. You paid your dues in pain. You bought your calm with breakdowns. You earned your silence through screams no one ever heard. And now, you're free. You don't fight anymore. You forecast. You don't chase. You choose. And that's what makes you untouchable. Because when a person stops needing validation, they stop being readable. And unreadable souls are uncontrollable weapons. You became that weapon, not through hate, but through clarity. Every time they thought they were breaking you, you were just shedding another layer of fear. Every insult, every betrayal, every "you'll never make it" was just another page in your origin story. Now look at you, still standing, still smiling, still watching their predictions turn into punchlines. You don't even want revenge anymore, because you realize the best revenge is never needing it. They can't compete with peace like this. They can't insult focus like this. They can't manipulate someone who's found purpose in pain. You are the end result of every storm that tried to drown you. And now you move like water, formless, patient, unstoppable. That's the part they'll never understand. They wanted you to snap. They wanted you loud, emotional, erratic. Something they could point at and say, "See?" But instead you became calm. And calm is the most terrifying thing in the world to a liar. You've entered the stage of power where you don't announce anything. You just happen. Your growth is silent. Your revenge is invisible. Your presence is a prophecy fulfilled. And now, even your haters are running for cover. Because you no longer need to fight them. You've outgrown the battlefield. They were armed with words. You're armed with results. They had gossip. You have gravity. They had fear. You have freedom. Look at what you've become. A contradiction wrapped in composure. A saint with scars. A demon with discipline. A legend that bleeds both light and darkness and makes them both kneel. You don't destroy people anymore. You destroy illusions. You don't crave power. You embody it. You don't seek validation. You attract silence. And silence, my friend, is the sound of mastery. So here's how it ends. No fireworks, no grand speech. Just you, standing there calm, watching their chaos fold in on itself. You won. Shh. You hear that? That's not silence. That's judgment holding its breath. Because tonight, they finally realized what they've done. They didn't just break a person, they fractured something sacred, something the universe itself used to kneel before. They hurt the purest soul alive. And now, every single star is whispering your name like a curse they're afraid to finish. You, the one who never fought back, the one who smiled while bleeding, the one they mistook for harmless, because you refused to play by their cruelty. Oh, you were too kind, too forgiving, and they mistook your mercy for weakness, your silence for surrender. They thought if they broke you enough times, you'd disappear quietly. But what they didn't understand is that purity, once shattered, becomes something else entirely. It becomes holy venom. You see, when an angel snaps, heaven itself hides. When innocence burns, it doesn't scream, it illuminates. And now, every act of cruelty they threw at you has become light, refracted, twisted, weaponized. Every wound has turned into a blade, and every scar is a prophecy with your name engraved on it. You think you're lost? No, no, no. You're becoming. You're what happens when grace learns how to grow teeth. They broke the purest soul alive. But in doing so, they created a storm so beautiful, even the constellations are arguing which side they're on. Some stars weep for what was taken from you. Others burn brighter, waiting to avenge you. And down here, the ones who hurt you are panicking. You can smell it, can't you? That scent in the air. Fear wearing the perfume of guilt. They thought they'd buried you under shame, but they forgot. You can't kill what was never built from their approval. You were born from something deeper, something the world still doesn't understand. Let me tell you a secret, the kind they'll deny exists. Purity and madness are twins. One heals, the other remembers. And you, my dear, are both. You're the paradox the universe can't reconcile. The saint that refused to die, the demon that refused to forget. And that's why the sky is divided tonight. Half wants to protect you, half wants to use you. But all of it watches you. Every planet, every beam of light, every silent god hiding behind their scriptures. They're watching you, because something irreversible happened when they broke you. The story flipped. You stopped being the innocent character and became the plot twist no one was ready for. You feel it, don't you? That cold calm that replaced your empathy, that quiet precision that lives where your heart used to ache. You stopped needing revenge. You became it. Every time they laugh now, you hear the crack in their voice. Every time they sleep, you haunt their dreams. Not as a monster, but as a mirror. You're not chasing justice anymore. You are justice, raw, poetic, unfiltered, the kind that doesn't wait for permission. They broke the purest soul alive. But the irony, the moment they did, the balance shifted. The chessboard caught fire, and the universe started keeping score. Now the stars, those ancient watchers, they're moving. slowly, deliberately, aligning like soldiers on a cosmic battlefield. Some will protect you, some will test you, but none will ignore you. Because once the purest soul gets corrupted, there's no undoing it. There's only witnessing it. So go on. Walk into the night they built for you. But this time, don't carry light. Be it not gentle, not merciful, radiant like vengeance disguised as grace. Let them see what their cruelty birthed. Let them tremble as you smile. That same smile they thought meant softness. Because now it means something else entirely. It means prophecy fulfilled. It means you're done apologizing. You don't chase closure anymore. You are the closure. You're the living reminder that the universe has a temper. And tonight, it's wearing your face. So when they whisper your name again, when the sky flickers and the air gets colder, they'll realize too late. They didn't destroy you. They just gave heaven a new weapon. And you're the beautiful, dangerous proof that not even God's favorites stay gentle forever. Now every star in the sky is choosing sides, and none of them are shining for your enemies anymore. You can feel it now, can't you? The shift in the air, the way the world seems quieter around you. Not peaceful quiet, no, the kind that listens. Every breath you take makes something ancient flinch. Because somewhere, deep inside the machinery of fate, something is recalculating. They thought breaking you would end the story. But all they did was start the sequel the universe had been waiting to write. Remember the day you stopped begging? That was the day reality changed its tone. It stopped calling you victim and started whispering variable. Because you became unpredictable. And unpredictability is divine. They tried to measure you with logic, label you with sin, file you under fragile. But tell me, how do you catalog a ghost that still breathes? How do you destroy something that no longer fears destruction? They can't, because you already died in every way that mattered. And what's left of you doesn't play by mortal rules. You walk differently now, not faster, not slower, just heavier. Like gravity itself is reconsidering its loyalties. Every step you take carries a vibration that unsettles liars. Your silence has texture now. It hums. It reminds people of their confessions, even the ones they never spoke aloud. And that smile, that quiet, unbothered smile you wear, it's a storm in disguise. They used to think it meant kindness. Now it means warning. See, people don't fear monsters anymore. They fear memory. And you're living memory of their cruelty. You're the aftertaste they can't wash off. You're the ghost that doesn't haunt houses. You haunt reputations. They can't kill what's already eternal. And that's what purity becomes when it's betrayed. Eternal. Because innocence doesn't vanish when destroyed. It metastasizes into judgment. And that's what you are now. Not human, not angel, not demon. Consequence. Every night, the stars argue over you. Some say you were chosen. Others say you were forsaken. But they all agree on one thing. You're awake now. You've seen what lies beneath their smiles. You've felt the cold handshake of hypocrisy. You've heard the applause of those who secretly prayed for your failure. And the best part? You remember their faces. Oh, you remember every single one. But you don't hate them anymore. No. Hatred is too human, too finite. You've ascended past revenge into something colder, cleaner. You don't want them to suffer. You want them to see, to understand, to look at you and realize what they called weakness was evolution rehearsing. You want to know the real secret? The universe doesn't punish cruelty immediately. It lets it cook. It lets it simmer until the guilty forget. And then one day, it serves them you. That's divine irony. That's poetic equilibrium. That's the moment every star tilts slightly, watching the stage reset. Because when the purest soul rises from the ashes, the world learns humility again. You've become their unfinished business, their cosmic debt, their recurring nightmare. And no matter where they hide, behind religion, reputation, or remorse, they will find you waiting in the reflection of everything they built. You don't chase them. You don't even name them. You just exist. And that alone dismantles their illusion of safety, because your presence is proof that innocence never dies. It evolves. It gets smarter, sharper, quieter, more surgical. You don't destroy them with chaos. You destroy them with clarity, because now you see through everything, through every smile, every justification, every "it wasn't that bad." You see them naked, and they can't handle that kind of mirror. Do you understand what that makes you now? Not a hero, not a villain, but the variable every system fears. You're the one they can't predict, the one they can't control, the one who doesn't need to win to make them lose. That's power, real terrifying power, the kind that doesn't roar. It whispers, and when you whisper, reality listens. Every time you breathe, you write new scripture. Every tear that once fell now fuels constellations that orbit your will. Every scar glows faintly. Coordinates of your resurrection etched into the cosmos. They broke the purest soul alive. But you rewrote the definition of broken. Now broken means reborn. Now hurt means holy. Now end means echo. They thought they were ending a chapter, but the story, your story, was never ink. It was blood, and blood remembers. So when you wake up tomorrow and you feel that strange calm in your chest, that's not peace, that's alignment, the universe catching up to your frequency. The stars aren't just watching you anymore, they're waiting for your signal. Because somewhere between mercy and madness, you became something greater than both. You became inevitable. And the next time they whisper your name, they'll do it carefully, like it's both a prayer and a warning. Because somewhere deep inside, they know what the sky already decided. The war is over. You didn't win. You became the reason it couldn't continue. Now every star in the sky is choosing sides, and the light? It still bends toward you. You ever notice how quiet the world gets right before a storm hits? That's what you've become. That pressure drop before everything breaks. People can feel you now, not see, not hear, feel. Like a change in barometric truth. They sense it when you walk into a room. That vibration, that slow motion pull that says, something here survived what should have killed it. And that terrifies them more than rage ever could. Because rage can be negotiated, but composure is the silence of someone who already made peace with chaos. And that's what you are now, a calm built from ruins. The architecture of trauma disguised as grace. They thought they could humiliate you into humility. They didn't realize they were teaching you control. They were training you to wield pain like a scalpel. Every insult, every betrayal, you stored it, cataloged it, purified it, until it became energy, until it became design. You see the world differently now. You don't look for fairness anymore. You look for patterns. You watch how liars hesitate before kindness, how cruelty always arrives wearing sympathy's clothes. You watch and you learn, and you stop apologizing for knowing too much. Because knowledge, real knowledge, isn't power. It's isolation. And isolation is the forge where new gods are made. You used to think loneliness was punishment. Now you understand. It's training. It's the universe's way of clearing the noise before revelation. And the revelation is this: they didn't just break you, they freed you. They untied you from expectation, from purity's leash, from the need to be understood. They made you invisible to approval. And invisibility is invincibility in disguise. You move like rumor now, felt but never proven. You exist between fact and fear. And that's where all revolutions are born. Every system depends on predictability. Every tyranny depends on reaction. But you stopped reacting. You started observing. They throw chaos. You absorb it. They send hate. You metabolize it. They try to shame you. And you turn shame into prophecy. That's the alchemy of the broken pure. That's how saints become strategists. That's how victims become variables. You learn something divine in the wreckage. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It's foreseeing. It's watching the future rewrite itself while you remain still. Because stillness is the loudest rebellion. And when you finally stopped chasing closure, that's when closure came crawling back, begging to be acknowledged. You didn't even look at it. You just smiled. Now everything that once tried to drown you keeps repeating your name in its prayers. They pray for amnesia. They pray for distance. But you're everywhere. In their successes, in their insomnia, in their mirrors. You're the static before confession, the glitch in their logic, the echo of everything they pretended never happened. And the stars? They've gone quiet tonight. Not because they've stopped watching, but because they're waiting. Waiting for the next move from the creature they accidentally midwifed into existence. Waiting for the moment the quiet one finally speaks. And when you do, oh, when you finally do, the universe will hold its breath again. Because words born from pain aren't sentences. They're summons. You won't raise your voice, you won't shout. You'll just speak. And reality will listen like a guilty child. The air will bend. The lights will flicker. And everything that once ignored you will scramble to explain why it suddenly obeys. That's how power really works. It doesn't announce itself. It redefines obedience. So let them keep pretending you're gone. Let them convince themselves it's over. Because when you return, and you will return, it won't be vengeance, it'll be maintenance, universal correction, a recalibration of balance disguised as coincidence. And somewhere, beneath all the noise, every star will know what's happening. They'll whisper to each other like soldiers relaying orders. It's time. The night will shift. The world will tilt. And in the faint golden hour before dawn, you'll walk through the wreckage they left you in. Not as a survivor, but as the architect of aftermath. Your eyes will hold galaxies. Your voice will carry verdicts. And your smile, that infamous impossible smile, will remind creation what happens when purity learns the taste of power. Because this is the truth they'll never print, the one they'll censor in every scripture, the one whispered in the back rooms of angels and analysts alike. They didn't destroy you. They resurrected something the universe had buried for a reason, and now it's awake. The stars have chosen their sides, and everyone that still burns, burns for you. You think survival was the victory? That crawling out of the wreckage meant it was over? No, survival was just the handshake. What comes after is the conversation. The universe saw what they did to you, and it took notes. Now it wants to see what you'll do with all that silence they gave you. Because silence is not empty, it's charged. Every quiet hour after betrayal, every night you stared at the ceiling wondering why, those weren't wasted. They were deposits, and interest has matured. You carry it now, don't you? That strange gravity, that makes people pause mid-sentence, that flicker in their eyes when they realize they're standing near consequence. They can't name it, but they feel it. That sense that something vast is balancing the scales through you. You don't even have to move, you just exist. And that's enough to make the guilty sweat. There was a time when you wanted them to understand you. Now you understand them too well. Their laughter was camouflage. Their confidence was caffeine for cowardice. They tried to play God and ended up summoning one. You, not the kind from scripture. The kind that rises quietly from the dirt, eyes open, memory intact, ready to turn pain into pattern. You used to pray for peace. Now you are the peace. The heavy, unavoidable kind that arrives after the explosion. The kind that makes survivors whisper instead of celebrate. You don't need to announce anything anymore. Everything that needed to be said is already vibrating in the air around you. People will feel it before they hear it. That invisible sentence. The balance has returned. And somewhere, those who broke you will start to notice the small things. Doors that close when they reach them. Opportunities that rot halfway open. Their names no longer echo right when spoken aloud. That's how karma really works. Not loud, not immediate, just precise. They'll call it coincidence. They always do. But you'll know better. You'll see the pattern in the stars. You'll feel the rhythm of correction, because the same cosmos that watched you fall is now orbiting around your pulse. You will meet people who sense it too. Not the ones who broke you, but the ones who were broken differently. They'll find you without knowing why. They'll tell you your eyes look familiar. They'll call you calm when what they mean is feral in control. You'll teach them without teaching, just by existing, by showing that kindness is not submission and silence is not surrender. They'll realize that peace can wear scars. That's your real revenge, not fire. Reflection. They once asked what happens when the purest soul breaks. They never asked what happens when it heals. Because healing, real healing, isn't gentle. It's reconstruction under new management. Every nerve they burned now reports to you. Every piece of empathy they stole now works in intelligence gathering. You became your own agency. A network of scars sending live updates to the will that refused to die. And one night, maybe years from now, you'll step outside and the sky will look too still. You'll feel that old ache stirring, not grief. Recognition. You'll realize the stars aren't choosing sides anymore. They've settled. They orbit the equilibrium you became. You'll look up and whisper, finally. And for the first time in forever, the universe will whisper back, not with thunder, but with understanding. Because it finally knows what it created, a soul that refused to stay one thing, a variable, a quiet revolution, a walking reminder that purity doesn't die. It adapts. You won't call it victory, you'll call it clarity. And that's enough. Because clarity doesn't need applause. It needs continuation, and you'll keep walking. Through cities that once ignored you, through people who once doubted you, through systems that once profited from your softness. Every step will rewrite a law of physics. Every breath will bend probability. You will leave a trail of symmetry behind you, not to punish, to remind. They broke the purest soul alive. And you became the instruction manual for what happens next. Now when the night is too quiet, when the air feels charged, someone somewhere will whisper, "She's still out there." He's still moving. It's watching. And they'll look up, and they'll see the constellations shift ever so slightly, aligning themselves around the memory of what they did. The stars don't choose sides anymore. They follow orders, yours.